Hey friends, my name's Mitch, and today we're going to finish up the tiger. Well, not fully finish it up, but we're going to get it to a nice state. Okay? So, what I want to do today, instead of going hair by hair, which I'm going to do on this, again, because it's a showpiece, I'm going to take a little more time. So, I want people to be comfortable getting moderately close to this. So, I'm going to put a little more detail than usual. So, instead of going hair by hair, I want to point out some stuff. First thing, I showed this to my friend at work, the one that hates everything, and he said that the face looked flat. And so what that means is your values aren't correct. So what I did was I got on my phone, converted it to black and white, converted the original one to black and white, and you can do this on any smartphone. It'll have an option to convert it to black and white. So at that point, you want to compare the two. So just for representation, quick purposes here, I have both of them. I pulled it up in Photoshop and I made a comparison. And you can see that we're off on some of the values. We're off on the eyes. We're off on the center of the nose. It needs to be lighter, and the outside needs to be darker, which gives you that separation of the nose instead of making it flat. As well as a lot of the stripes need to be enhanced and made a lot darker. So what I did was I went back in and got my pan pastel, and I just got the dark brown. You can use any pastel, and I just touched it up. So pan pastel goes on like peanut butter on carpet. It's terrible, but what I do is just get a glob, and it'll make like footprints. And so I'll make a bunch of footprints and then smooch them together real quick. So that's basically what I did. So also I started making some of the hairs through here using the glass, metal, plastic pencil that I have here. Well, what I want to show you is something interesting. As you're making these hairs up here, you know, to make the different hair sections you have, like right here and whatnot, some of them are very, very light. So to enhance that, what you're going to do is come in here with a soft pastel to the super, super light ones, and you're just going to come in between, or sorry, on top of the wax. And so the wax functions like a cool base for your pastel and makes your pastel brighter. So if you're doing a dark pastel, it'll make it darker. If you're doing a light pastel, it'll make it lighter. And you don't want to come over here and just cover the whole thing. But you do want to come over here in the super light areas that you see on the picture. You can come over here and just do that. So that makes this nice, light, really bright highlight on that. As well as like you're coming in through here and you have like that. And down through here we have these really bright areas. Like right here, have a bright area. And then right here, you have this really bright area suddenly just right there. So you just want to get that. Now for your darks, what you can do, and here as well, you'll have like right there is really bright. And here as well, like right at the top there. Alright, and so for your dark areas, you can also come in and, let's see, just make a little hair thing. Okay, so for your dark areas as well, you can come in with a super, super dark pastel. So these are on the stripes. Now notice what I'm doing with the stripes. I'm not covering the whole stripe. I'm just hitting an area here and there. And you want to do this with a moderately soft pastel. This is a Giro 513, which is a super, super dark green. And actually, it's darker than black in many cases. So one of my favorite pastels, like if you're going to get one pastel, get your 513. So again, you don't want to make it super, super dark. You don't want to fill this in with pastel, but you want to kind of get your values set up. And the way you're going to do that is come in here with a lighter pastel, like a pastel that's going to dump a lot of dust, and you just want to get this right here with your darks. That's why you really, really need like one of these super, super dark pastels. And you want it with a fine edge. So you can come in here and get these areas like that. So again, we're not making like a dramatic pastel dump in here, but what I do want is to come in here and just get a little bit of these stripes. So like right here in the nose, get that a little darker. You can see that's really, really dark. So you just want a little bit of that. And again, up here on the nose, just get that. Super, super dark. And then right here, like that's relatively dark right there. And again, when you're coming down through here, just be careful with this, but again, like right down in here, that's really, really dark. So you're just gonna do a nice dump of pastel right in through here, because that's very shadowy down through here. And that's gonna really make it pop. And you can hit some of these stripes just a little bit. Again, you don't wanna just mash the crap out of it and make it look really obnoxious. You just go like that. So just a hint here and there of a little darker pastel. And that'll really make it pop. It makes that contrast really, really jump out. So that helps a lot. You can also, if you have an India ink marker or something like that. So let me just give you an example of this real quick. This is going to be obnoxious because you're not supposed to do this, but this is a Sharpie. It's not light fast, but if you get a marker, let's say one of these light fast markers, you can come in here and just dump some ink. You don't want to do this with acrylic paint or some paint that's going to harden up, but you can do it with just inks. And just be careful, and again, just like this, like not much, just here and there, and get you a artist quality marker, and then do a ink dump, sort of like that. So that's going to really help you out. So we can come in through here, and once you like accentuate the light and the darks, as well as, let's say in the nose right here, we have a highlight area like right there. And again, that pastel gives it that wax gives it a place for the pastel to sit on, and it really makes it pop. Okay, let's take this off, go back to our pencils. So up in here, when you're making these stripes, make sure that you have like a nice sharp colored pencil, and you just want to make the stripes trail along like that. What you don't want is a solid square of the stripe. So I'm just getting these hairs and just kind of coming in and making these hairs sort of trail in and trail out, and you just have like a couple here and a couple there. So you want to have like a little action. What you don't want is just this big square. And then you can make like the center of this, make it darker, so it gives it like that 3D effect. And you come in through here and you do that. And then once you establish this, I'll say in general, when you're making a stripe, you want to make it a little darker than you need. And again, you see that's really bringing it to life. It gives it a movement. So you get a really, really sharp, super sharp pencil, and you just want to give it some movement, like through there. See? And you come in through here, you give that a little movement like that. So like right here, you just have like this sudden hair right there. Like, whoops, where's that come from? Over here, you have one like sneaking out. And then if you look at the picture, he has some coming up through here. And you just want to make some of them curved, some of them straight. Hey Sherry, thank you. And then again here, you want like a dark, and then it goes to light. And then here is maybe dark, and it goes to light, right? So you don't want to get this and go make your whole stripe dark. You want super darks, you want kind of grayish lights, and in between, not a pattern. You don't want dark, 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 dark. You just want it, different. And again, when you're coming in here making these making these stripes, one thing that's going to make the stripes super, super realistic, okay, is going to be when you make a stripe, you're going to come up in here and you're going to have like a little bit of a hair. Again, you're just going to lightly press. And it doesn't look like much, but your eye will register this as much, much more photorealistic if you have like this. And again, you want to make it curved, some of them curved, some of them come out a lot like that, some of them come out a little, right? And so you have this action going on. And the same thing here, and this is too light right here. So we can come in and you can make like a really dark here, you know, lie. Nobody's eye is going to come back out this far anyway, but you do need to. I'm going to cut it about a ½ inch like that away from it. So, can you see that in the camera? Yes. So I'm going to come about ½ inch out like that. So we can come out and just make hairs that come through here. So some come out left and some come out, you know, faded over there. And then you press hard, you got one that's coming out. You got some coming down and up. It's just like a mess. It looks like your hair in the morning, you know, when you wake up. What you don't want is like after you've, you know, brushed your hair, you got that nice clean shower hair. You don't want that on this. You want this crap everywhere, right? And so at the beginning of the stripe, you have the most hairs, okay? And then as you come out, you have little clumps where there's a lot, and you have little clumps where there's not a lot. But for the most part, it just comes out like that. So now you have this nice, non-patterned thing. And again, you want to come in, just move with that, give this a little action there, just a little bit. And so that makes you nice and realistic looking hairs. So at this point, you want to come over your hairs with some different hairs. So you want to get your pencil, you come through, make some hairs that are coming up, down. You got one right there that's, you know, that's hard lined. You got some that are soft, where you're not pressing very hard and coming through here. And then you have one that's really, you know, defined, going like that, or something like that. And so you have this nice blend of it, and then you want to use different colors. So instead of just a yellow, I'm going to get these two different yellows. And heck, I'll even get a pinkish, right? And so when you come up here and you have these hairs up here, you just lightly press with your yellow. You don't want a lot of it, but you just lightly press and get some action going, and then you come back with your not as bright and obnoxious yellow, and maybe press a little harder. Then you want to get that action coming across through there. And again, you know, you have a fairly bright area right here. Go ahead and get some hairs through there, but don't just fill up the whole thing and be obnoxious with it. And up here, you got like a couple of hairs right there. And then you want to get your flesh tone. So you have bright ass yellow, you got a medium yellow, then you got a darker flesh tone. Then you get your flesh tone and just come over like right here. Right where the hairs are coming out, have a little flesh tone. Like that. So you just have a mixture of this flesh tone here. And it gets darker up here, so I'm not going to touch that. And then you come in with your whites, and you get some highlights. Like right here is a really highlight area. Then you have like another highlight area right there. Don't make a lot of them, but you want them here and there. You press pretty hard right here. Just make that come out. It's a highlight area. So just have these here and there. And then again through here, you're going to have more because this is fairly highlight. Like that. And then across through here, you want some variation. So I'm going to get my flesh tone, because right now all I have is white and black and it looks just obnoxious. So you get your flesh tone and come in through there and get like a little action through there. And then get your yellow and just sort of tickle this over here, not very hard. Just sort of hit it here and there, like that. So, I mean, you look at it and it looks all right. And again, people aren't going to be staring over here, so it doesn't need to look photorealistic. You need to concentrate your photorealistic around the eyes, nose, etc. So let's hop over to the mouth at this point. And what I want to do is to get some of this action in here. And again, if you're going to do hairs, you need at least 4 colors, like minimum 4 colors. All right, so let's get this blue. We have this blue, like right here. It's not pronounced, but I'm just going to barely press and get that blue a little bit in there. And I know like you can barely see it, but your eye will say, hey, I see a little bit of blue. And I mean, that's almost like white. And if you want to too, you can come in with a darker blue, and you can get the darker blue and just barely touch it. Like you just want to barely touch it through here. And so your eye will register this blue and be like, I see some blue. Not a lot, but that color just gives it life. And I think in general, if you want to look for blues and whites, blues and reds and whites and things like that, where you can find them, because that'll give you a little bit of a variation. If it's all black and white, it just looks absolutely freaking terrible. So again, just get this blue, and I'm just barely pressing and come up through here. And you got like a little blue here, not a lot. Again, I'm barely pressing. Like that. So you just give it a little bit of life. So let's come in at this point and do the mouth. So we do have a lot of blue down here. I'm just going to sort of get a little bit of it in here. Not a lot. You don't want to like just splurge into this thing. Just get a little of this light blue in there. And then we have a prominent light blue section right here. We're just going to come through and get that section of the mouth where it has like a little reflection. Just get that right there. Get a nice reflection. It looks really cool. And then up here we have like a little bit, like right in there, a little bit of a reflection, not much. And then as we come into the mouth, we got another reflection coming down through the hair. And we got another reflection here. It gives it that nice variation that you want, that really, really nice variation. So let's fill this in a little bit more. Okay, cool. And then as we come in through here, we need more hairs because that doesn't look good. All right. Well, thank you, Sherry. All right. So now let's get our ivory black. Let's drop all of our pencils in. That would be wonderful. Let's get our ivory black, and this is the Derwent Drawing Ivory Black, and I call this my grease pencil. So I have it sharpened to like a scalpel tip here. So we just want to get this, and when you're making white, you want to get it sort of a whitish, grayish base. And then once you have your ace of base there, then you want to come back with darks. Bottom line, like get slight dark, or sorry, white as a base, and then you want to come back with your darks. So all we're doing is just making little patterns here and there, and that's just going to go out. The problem you're going to have is if you put all white here, you come in with your colored pencil and start yanking in the wax, it's going to look weird. It's not going to have spaces in between it. So what you want to do is you want to establish your negative spaces now, and you don't want to do this with just one color. You want to have multiple colors. So let me show you just in a second. So you have like dots here, and the dots like come out, and then up here you have like a darker section that comes out. Then you have like dots there and all that good stuff. I think this is the 9,000th tiger mouth I've done. The funny part is somebody asked me to do a dog, and before I started streaming, I kid you not, I did at least 50 dogs. So it's like, man, I wish I'd have started streaming earlier. Okay, so then you're just going to have this action here, and again, we're just going to have. So you'll notice as you come up through this dark area, you can make a negative space thing coming through here. So you have like this area coming through. Then you have that, so it's coming out in, and then here it's sort of coming out. So you have this nice negative space thing. And then again, you don't want to make this one color, you don't want all black, but you do want some action with this section of black here. So you want like a stripe there, you want like a little movement here. So you have this nice thing here. And normally, if nobody is going to get near this, so it's going to be proper viewing distance behind glass, I would literally not do anything else to this section here. But again, it's a showpiece. So we're going to go overboard today. Sorry. But that's good enough right there. Nobody's ever going to look at it. And then I would come in with my colored pencil and I would make hairs here and there, hair coming out through there, then a clump, hairs coming over through here, etc., etc. Then come in through there, and then all that. So I just do this, watch TV, and then you make some longer ones, and you make some shorter ones, and all that, and then I'd be done. I wouldn't do anything else. But we want to put this a little overboard. So the first thing I want to do is get my blue and sharpen it. Alright, I want to get my blue, and I want to have a little blue splotches. Again, not pressing hard. I want to have these little blue splotches. I don't want to have a lot of them, just want to have them here and there. And again, that blue will give your whites, it'll just bring them to life. Because if you look at the 359 Giro pastel, it has that is a light blue. So it's like cobalt blue light or something like that. It looks really fabulous when you put it on, because that blue just gives it that extra coolness into the white. And then again, instead of just all black, we're going to come in here with a brown colored pencil. Just going to hit brown up the top here. So where you have this black coming out, just have a little bit of brown. Again, not obnoxious, just a little, so that your eye registers see these different colors. So as you're coming through, your eye will register that these are some different colors in here. Again, just really, really light. You just want some action across through here. You just want some movement, and it just makes it look better. So black and white by itself looks terrible. And so you just come in and do some of your negative spacing with this brown, right? If you want to be really obnoxious, you can come in with a gray and do different levels of gray, but that's going to be, again, overly obnoxious. But I would like a little bit of a grayish tone across through here. So now you have that for the base coats before you're going to do that other stuff. So make sure you go in the direction of the hair and all that stuff. Alright, so now you have your base. And the picture does not come down that far, so I'm not really sure what's down there, but we're going to make it up. So at this point now, obviously, you're going to get your white, and you're going to make clumps. You make clumps meaning I'm going to make, like that, right? And then once you're here, you're going to come out, and you're going to come out of this clump. And again, you're going to make a little clump here. You're going to come out of that clump. Then you're going to make a little clump here. And again, you're going to just start making clumps. What you don't want to do is make individual hairs and have a bunch of individual hairs everywhere. It's going to look terrible. You want to make little clumps. So if you look at the picture, the reference, you got a clump right here, and you got hairs coming out of it. And again here, you got another clump. You got hairs coming out of it. And then it's shorter as you get up here. And then again, let's make another clump. Like that. So that looks really good. I mean, that looks realistic. So you can come in with a different pencil, and then as you come through here, you want to turn it at a 45, because that's going to give you that really hard mark. And it's nice and easy on the hands. And now you're going to come out, start making these. Don't make a lot of them. And again, you can make another clump right here. Come out, across through there, and then through here. Again, you can have a clump. And then go in different directions. Don't go all in the same direction. And because you have that gray and that dark right through here, you can come in through here and make that. Alright. So here, you're going to press fairly hard. You want to get the action through there. And then make sure you're coming up through there like that. You want to sneak into the dark areas over here. Coming through here and getting that action down through there. And then after you got all that in place, come back with your black and fill in little areas in between the hairs like that. So you had that nice darkness that you had before, and you went on top of that and you covered some of it up. I'm not bringing out those exact spots, but what I do want to get is a little bit of this darkness in between there. So you just want a little bit of this, not hard, just a little. And you want this in a clump too, just get some of this action there. And this little clump here. You come in here and press fairly hard when you get up here, right? Because it's dark. Alright, so there you have it. So if you want to go super annoying realistic, you can come in with a white pastel. And again, this is way overboard. Did I mention this is way overboard? Come in with a white pastel, and you remember I said once you get that wax down, it's like a base for the pastel. So just hit it. Get on top of that wax. Not a lot. Again, a little. This crap goes a long way. You just get just a smidge here and there. Gives it that bright, vibrant look. Not everywhere. Like that. So that looks photorealistic. That's dead on. That looks really nice. So that's how you get that. So if you want to go the extra mile and you want to do all that, then you can. Again, get your India ink and just barely smidge up top here with that if you want. Etc., etc. So that's the mouth. We have a nice mouth pattern here. We got a nice shadow area here. We have some nice stuff here. Only thing I'm concerned about is this area here is not dark enough. And you gotta watch that. You can't come in with black and just spooge it all over the place and then assume it's gonna be dark enough then. You can come in with your browns. Get a little bit. I say it's not dark enough. I think it's because we're not coming down far enough into there. So if we come far enough into there and then go up a little bit with this brown, I think it'll be a little better. I think the problem I'm having is just all white, and all white by itself does not look good. So we can sneak in there with the brown a little bit and just get a little negative space painting. Negative spots there. Just hit it. It makes it so much better. Just get that just a little bit. Just in between there, just not too much. Again, overly detailed, but whatever. So it just makes it look a little bit nicer. Okay, so I'm happy with all of this stuff up here. I guess we're gonna have a little more definition with some of these. Have a little more definition like right here. And I like the nose. I think it's all right. It could have a little more darkness right there. Because we have a shadow underneath even though you have that. Like that. Okay, that looks good. Alright, so now let's do this little area over here. What I'm going to do with this snow or whatever the hell this is, rock or whatever, I'm going to get it pan pastel white and we're just going to smooge over it. Because again, pan pastel is not good for velour because it like peanut butter on carpet, but you can make little footprints, and that's what we're going to do, because that's, if you look at the reference photo over here, you'll see that indeed it does look like a bunch of little footprints. So we're just going to get the pen pastel and go make a bunch of little footprints. Alright, so we are getting this little area underneath here, and what I did was just sort of getting a little negative painting with this black area first, and the black area just sort of comes around over here, and then you have like right here, it comes down into whatever the hell this is. I think this is, I don't know what that is. Is he sitting on something, or is that his paw? I don't know. So we have a defined line right here. So let's go ahead and just draw that, but not as a line, but sort of as hairs. So if you draw hairs in the direction of the hair as your line, even if it's wrong, it still looks all right. You can draw other hairs around it and it looks all right. So let's get some action there. We have this orange base, so now we can just come in with this brown. And what I'm doing is just pushing it up at a 45-degree angle here and just getting just this brown, darker area right there. That's what I want. And then as you come up, it gets lighter and goes to tan. And since we already sort of have a tan there, we can keep on with this brown and just go up here and just press a lighter, right? Just pressing lighter, just getting little hairs right here, just through here, little bitty hairs. And then we have this black area, looks like his paw, maybe. So we got a darker area there, and then we can come up with the black, get like this darker thing going on there. I don't know if that's a rock or whatever the heck that is. So we have little curls up through here, so let's get some of these curls like that, and you don't want like defined hairs. I just want like these curly action there, like that. There we go. And then we can come in again with the brown and just get some curly type action across through here. And this is not hairs, these are, I don't know, just like little marks. Just make these little marks and make sure it's directional, so it's going to be curved like that. And now we're going to hit into these other little blotches of curls, and then right here it gets much lighter, so we're going to get this and just make a little more of that right there, and then we have a line here, and then after the line we have like this action coming through that. And so just want to get some of that action over here and get a base, because now it's going to be a whole, again, curls here. Okay, so now it's going to be a whole lot of light stuff. So let's get our lights back. And again, if you really, nobody's going to look here. I mean, nobody. So if you completely mess this up, you know who'll notice? Say it with me. Nobody. So I want to get my orange. Okay, so I have an orange, like a couple of light yellows. So let me get my orange. Come in here and just get an obnoxious bright orange and lightly press it. Did I mention lightly press it? Again, nobody is going to look over here ever in their whole life. So we're just going to get this. I want to get an orange base. We already have sort of an orange base down there, but I want to get an oranger base, if that's a word. Alright, and then again make some curls coming down through here. Alright, so now we get our, that's right, Sherry, nobody. So now we get our bright obnoxious yellow. I just want to make curl here and there. Just get a curls. Because that's what I'm seeing right here is a bunch of little curls. And then right here, we have this bright, obnoxious yellow. It's making these hairs, making the little hairy pattern there, here and there and everywhere, like that. All right, and then get our lighter yellow. Just want to kind of smack it good like that. Just want to get a little action in there. Did I mention who's going to look at this? Just going to smack it. A little bit of that action there. Alright, so that looks like his paw. It doesn't, but whatever. So what we need to do is handle this transition from here to here, and we can do that with the pencil here to sort of get a little bit of a hairy motion there. Hairy motion, that's right. We haven't done this area here yet, but then as you come over through here, we have like a shadow, I guess, and that's pretty much it. So you just kind of do that. Then you want a little light area over there, so you can get your white. So a couple hairs here. You want to be really careful with this white, because if it's too bright, it will bring their eye to here, and then it will no longer be nobody, it will be everybody. So you want to be careful with this white. Couple little knocks there. Alright, so I'm pleased with this, I guess. Not really, but a couple little hairs there. Like that. Okay, looks good. Again, if somebody is staring right here, you have a problem, and it's caused by you because you did something wrong. Anytime someone stares at an area they shouldn't be, it's because you did something wrong, and you made it too bright, you made it too prominent, you made it too white, whatever. And that's a real problem that you'll face if you do enough of these. And that's certain things too. You'll take a landscape painting course, and that's the first thing they'll teach you is on the corner. You don't want to have anything super realistic. You don't want to spend a lot of time on it, because if you do, then everybody's going to look there, and that's going to be a problem for you, because that's going to take away from your main focus, which is the eyes and everything else. So realistically, everybody will be looking at the eyes of the tiger. The eye of the tiger. Cue the Rocky. Which one was that, Sherry? Eye of the tiger. Was that 3? Was that Rocky 3? I think it was. That was when he fought that Russian guy, wasn't it? I don't know. They didn't have Russian hacking back then, did they? There was no Russian election rigging or whatever they call it. Whatever the current news drama is today. So you just want dots through here. I think it was 3. Eye of the tiger. And you want over here. Some of that there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Okay, cool. And I will make a video showing some different artists and what they do with stuff like this. So you'll notice some of the people, like John Singer Sargent in his portraits, he'll have super realistic eyes, and then you go outside of the eyes to the shirt, and it'll be just a bunch of paint smooched all over the place. It's like just random patterns. It looks like he just dumped a bunch of paint on there. Like once you get to the shirt and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting stuff to look at. But it sort of shows, I mean, that, once you get proper viewing distance, his stuff looks amazing. And that's probably why I cranked out so much stuff so easily. So again, just get yellow here. A little bit like that. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with that. Cool. So I think that's his paw or whatever it is. I think we did alright. The first Rocky was my favorite, indeed. I think that was everybody's favorite. I have not seen Creed. Have you seen Creed, the new one? I want to see that. And unfortunately, the photograph does not go below this, so I think we're going to cut off right there. I think so. Probably going to get a custom mat cut for this, because I'm gonna, the framing people hate me because I'm really picky. I know exactly what I want it to look like. And so what I'll do is have them mark it on the back. If it can cut me a custom mat, I rarely will buy a custom frame because usually I can find a frame that's nice. It's just the mat that really makes the painting come alive. Alright, I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'm just going to go and make details later. Alright, so we got the mouth, we got this. Let's do the other side of the other side of here. How much time we got? We got plenty of time. Right. So again, the first thing you want to do is get your darker colors, and so this is like a darker brown over here. So we're just going to get some of that action here with the action stuff there. I gotta say, I think Rambo. No, that's Rambo series. What am I thinking? I just think Stallone. Alright, so get some action in here, and don't be afraid of coming out a little too far, because it just don't matter. It don't matter at all. It just does not matter. Alright, coming up through here, we got like a section up through there. It comes down. So we'll get a little bit of this. And again, I made this darker on purpose to get that foreshortening of the muzzle there. You're like I'm breaking out the big words, Terry. Through here. Through there. The foreshortening of the muzzle. I think that's a bird. Then just coming in through here, we want a tan, and you sort of have to watch out for your colored pencils. When you want a tan, you really have to watch what you want in the tan, because if you just come in with colored pencil on white, then yeah, a tan will look alright. But if you want a tan on top of orange, you're going to have to go a little bit more yellow, not too much into the obnoxious. What do you think, Sherry? Come in here, get a 45 degree and do a whacking. And whacking is just holding it at 45 and just giving the paper a good stomp. And then as you come up through here, we start going to white, but it's not pure white yet. So we get some of this yellow in there. This is called cream. Alright, so you just want some of that. Just get some of that cream there. And you want this cream, you want a little bit of the pattern there, because you have this nice little pattern that kind of starts coming through here. So we already have a little yellow over there, so we can just add to it at this point. And so you want to make sure and preserve your browns, because again, you want to keep that foreshortening, so you want to make sure this area stays dark. So we're just going to come in through here and play with it a little bit, like that, like a Dece. Alright, so then as you come in through here, now we want our stuff. So like right here you have like a dot, but you see how soft that is. I didn't press hardly at all. What you don't want to do is make that really hard and rough, because that will come and haunt you. And once you have that dark black on there, it's going to be impossible to get out either. Then we get just a little things here. And notice I'm not drawing a dot, I'm not drawing a circle. What I'm doing is just coming through here and just making this really light. Look at this, how soft that is. Look, really light, soft there. Really soft right there. And then as you come through, it gets less soft. So this is still soft, but it's not, obnoxiously soft. And then as you come down through here, we have our, a fairly substantial dark area right here. So just make sure you stay close to your reference. And again, I'm not making dots. I'm making like lines in the direction of the fur. So again, down through here, we have, don't just leave that blank. You want that nice. Look at how soft it is. Look at that, Sherry. It looks like a nice soft little area right there. And then over here, you actually come in through and you just sort of fill in this area here. So you make our hairs. Again, you want to get some negative painting through here. Score yourself some action through there, right? And up here, score yourself a little bit of action in there. Not obnoxiously so, but a little bit in there. Score some of that action right there. You're just giving it movement, right? Coming through there. So now it already looks now soft. And now you can come back through here and just make some more soft little areas of hair just coming through. So normally you do this with gray, but you can do this with black. It doesn't matter. What you don't want is a bunch of white hairs with nothing else around it. It's going to look weird. And again, you can come in through here and make some of these a little bit darker than others, right? Like up through here, make it a little bit darker. Like that. So now you have this cool action. And over here it gets gray because it's in shadow. So we can sort of glaze it with this Derwent drawing pencil, right? And then come in through here, you got like this action down through there. And make these a little bit bigger. These are a little too small. And these are not dark enough. So we're gonna come back in with our pencils and do all that stuff. And so again, come in here with your brown, a little bit of that action. All right, now you have a base. This is your base. Once you got that base, now you come in. Now you come in with the unsharpened pencil. Now you come in with your white, right? Now you come in with your really bright white, and you just press like the devil on this. Get your hairs right through here. Make some of them a little longer, make some of them a little shorter. Come in through here, you got your action. Come in, get that hair. Not too long, but not like little dots either. Like that. And then bring some up into there. Then bring some of these down. So it has that nice hair effect. You want some coming through here. And again here too. Get our pencil. Get our lines. You don't want to fill the whole thing in. Just want a little bit of a hint. Just a little fun. Just have a little fun with it, right? Like that. Then coming through here, get your little hairs coming out. Like that. Get a couple of these, bring one down. Woo! 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 Like that. So, looks pretty cool. And get a couple of hairs up here. Not big ones, like a little hair right there. There you go, cool. That looks all right. We have a little highlight right here we forgot. Nothing major, but if you see it, you want to draw it, right? All right. So now you have a nice area, and you want to ask, does it look like the picture? And I think that it does. So we need one more row of whiskers. I don't know what these are called. These are where the whiskers come out. Was it a whisker base? I know nothing about tigers, which is sad because I'm painting one. Well, drawing one. Alright, so that looks pretty good. And then through the little whisker base, you want a couple of hairs. Like that, right? And then you can come in with your India ink / Sharpie or whatever you're going to use. Don't use a Sharpie. But you can come in with your India ink again, or you can come in with your super dark pastel. And I can't stress this enough. Don't be obnoxious with this. You see, it's just a bit, just a touch. And it's not every one either, right? Just a couple of them. Just a touch, and you want to go the direction of the hair. Again, just a touch. And through here, this is fairly dark. Coming through here with your India ink. Coming through here with your proper marker that you can get. Everything from Prismacolors to anything that'll drop some dark colors. And again, we're not being obnoxious with it. We're just tickling the surface on these things. Like that. Give it a little punch, and that will make it stand out and give it that coolness. So now, since we've sort of finished this, I guess, I don't know, I think that's finished. I think that's all right. I think that's all right. All right, since we sort of finished this area, we can put in the whiskers. And now you're going to press the hardest you've ever pressed a frickin' pencil in your life, and pray to God that you don't mess this up. Okay, so it's pretty sharp, and coming through here like that. And then we can come in through there like that, and then we can come across like that, and then we got one here coming down. Press a little lighter here, and then here we got one coming down. Over here, we got one like that. Like that. We need to get it sharper. Alright. And then right here we have one coming up. Like that. And then coming down. Up, then come up, press a lighter on those. Then you got a couple that are coming down through here and down through there. Press a lighter on these. So you have these nice, a nice whisker pattern coming across through there. We got another one's coming through here, Sherry, right there. So we just reversed it. We started over there. We got one that's coming like that. And so as you come over here, you have a bunch of random hairs, and that's cool. And then you have some black hairs, so you got to stay true to the painting, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get a razor-ass sharp black pencil, and we're going to make these black hairs. You can't miss those. If you miss those, it won't look right. Like that. So you have a little black hair here too, like that. Then you have one coming out across here, like that. So just make some of these black hairs across through there. We got one like through there. Just a little, just a couple, nothing major. So it looks pretty good. That side of the face, I think, Sherry, I think we're done right here. And I think we're done like right there. Still need to do that. So we'll spend some more time starting this area over here, I guess. So how much time we got? We got about 7 minutes. We'll go 90 minutes today. All right, so let's come around the eye. Let's get a little action up there. Oh, thank you, Beth. So just cruising through here. Just want a base. Then up through there. Just want some variety. So if you're doing this, you want a minimum, and I mean a minimum of 4 colors anywhere you're going to go. Like through that. Just establish your darks at this point. Like in here with our not quite as sharp pencil, I just want this area here. Again, you just get this movement right there. Not like a defined hair. here. Like that. So you have like a hint of hair. Gotta be careful with this frickin' grease pencil. If you whack that too hard, you're done. And then across through here. Got that nice area through there. And the good thing is, nobody's ever seen this tiger before, so if you mess up a dot or a spot, it looks alright. Just don't mess up the eye, whatever you do. So just get some hairs, cross them through here, right? Coming in through that dot. Like that. We'll just get this 45 degree. Just give it a mush. Through here. Again, this is a showcase piece. I would never, ever, ever, ever go this detailed. Okay. Problem I ran into was I give everything away to the nursing home. And we're actually, after this is done, we got permission to do a Dorothy Dent painting. And we're going to go give that to the nursing home when we're done. Cool. So you get that nice furry thing going around there, right? So now again, we're coming back with our browns, and I want to get a little more deep section through here. See you, Sherry. Thanks for stopping by. Through there like that. Little hair pattern in through here. And again, we're coming over this with lights, but I do want some color underneath it. Like that. Cool. So, at this point, we're going to come in with our lighter color. Now, you're like, what lighter color? It's going to be yellow, yellow, and yellow, and more yellow. So we got our 3 yellows. That looks a lot like the other one. So let's get our yellow. Let's get a little action across through there. Because this is bright right here. Bright. So we get our yellow base, and we come along in through here with not quite as obnoxious color. And so right through here, for example, you can get nice, bright yellow. And then up through here, get another nice little yellow. Like that. So that is obnoxious as hell. So then we're going to come back with our less obnoxious color and just sort of relax it down a little bit by giving it some company up here. So the purpose of this is you have this nice yellow base. You have a non-sharp pencil. So the purpose of this is you have a nice, obnoxious yellow base, and that is going to catch your eye and make it bright. But then predominantly you have another color that's not as bad. That's going to be, for the most part, what you got. And here is, this is just begging for an orange at this point. So we can get an orange and just sort of orange this out a little bit right there. Again, not too much, but you don't want to lose that pretty, tigerish orange there. So we don't want a lot of it, but we want enough to where it registers with your eye. Like that. And then you're going to come in with your white, and then you're going to come in with your white and just hit this here. Because this is like a little bright right there. And across through here, you're going to hit this with a little bit of bright. Like that. And then right here, it gets obnoxiously bright. So, again, we're just going to come in. This is like sort of a focal area, you got to admit, because this is near the eye. So you want to be pretty tight with your patterns. Alright, on the final stretch here, I told you guys I would show you pan pastel on velour. So let's spend a little bit of time on that. I have a little pan pastel applicator. I'm not using a big one. So we'll just use a small one just to show you what I'm talking about with footprint. So I'm not sure what the hell this thing is. It's just like this general rock, snowy rock or something. So what I'm doing is just making little footprints with this pan pastel applicator and trying to sort of replicate this rock. And what pan pastel is, it's like a moist pastel surface that you, so it looks like they got pigment and put their own individual binder in it. So if you go and buy any pastel, the only real difference is the binder. So the binder is like the KFC secret recipe, right? It's like everybody has their own different little thing going. So what pan pastel is, it's like a moist-ish pastel, and so it's held together with a moist binder, or with sort of a wet binder. So if you turn it upside down, it doesn't fall out. Well, one piece fell out. But if you turn it upside down, it doesn't fall out unless you mess with it a lot. So the problem again with anything moist going on velour, it's going to stop and not be smooth. But that's actually perfect for this, right? Like, you don't want this smooth. You don't want this to be a smooth rock. How many smooth rocks have you seen? Well, sorry, take that back. This is not a smooth type rock. This is more of a harsh little rock there, like Little Rock, Arkansas, but not. So all we're doing is getting the little footprints that we get from pan pastel, and we're sort of, making that. So now you get these little rock textures, right? And you don't go the same way. In other words, I'm not going to turn it this way and go this way every time. You'll notice I'll turn it left, I'll turn it right, maybe I'll do some upside down. And we're not going really detailed below this point here, because I think that's where I'm going to be framing it. But if you look, it makes this nice textured pattern that is what you want. Now this is obviously going to be a terrible pattern for something you want smooth, like let's say the forehead of the lion or tiger or whatever. But if you're just coming up here and you just need a, sort of a deckled pattern here, you got it made. So I like this because in pastels this would look kind of weird if I went for regular pastels and tried to do this. It would kind of be difficult actually. But with pan pastel, since you get that peanut butter on carpet look, and that's one of the things here, you want to make sure, like some of this snow is like right up here. And so you see I got some of the pan pastel and it's like still in powdery form. And I just got like that, so it looks like snowy. It looks sort of snowy. That's another thing you can do. So you like have this nice snow effect right here, right? You can come in here and get more of a snow effect like right here, like the snow sort of coming up, right? And then right here, so you don't have a hard line, you have this cool looking pattern. So this is pan pastel, and the next creature we're doing is going to be pan pastel on a different type of paper. It's called pastel mat. So that is what Jason Morgan uses. He uses pan pastel and pastel mat. And only problem I have with that is it's really expensive, but since I got a couple of pieces, because he recommended it, I bought a bunch of them. And we need to use them up. So let's go ahead and use them up. I do like pan pastel. I don't have that many colors, but the colors I do have are pet oriented and portrait oriented, so I'm going to get into that at some point too. So it's just kind of nice. I mean, you have this nice rock pattern, and make sure to fill in the gaps here. Don't leave it all footprints all scattered about. So you like fill in a gap here, and then up here you fill in a gap, or you leave a bigger gap or something like that. So just give it sort of a pattern. And then as you come to the outside, you have a little smaller thing. So I'm going to touch it a little lighter and not mash it in quite as much. So see how you get that little pattern there? So that looks snowy, doesn't it? It's sort of cool. You get that snowy effect. and you didn't have to do much. So as we come out, we get a little bit more of a snowy effect. Just going to touch it across through there like that. So it's pretty cool. So you also can come up here and put a little snow in his hairs like that. Not too much to be obnoxious, but a little pattern here and there. Bad. Let's see, maybe a little there. Okay, looks pretty cool. So that is Pan Pastel on velour. Let me put this up. We can go back to our regularly scheduled programming. Hey Kathy, how are you? So we got our nice pattern of rock, or whatever the hell this thing is. And at this point, I want to come up around the top of the eye and get our hairs up here. As you can tell, I'm pressing pretty freaking hard. Come up through there. We got a little gap right there, and we got more hairs coming out. Oh, thank you, Kathy. All right, cool. I like that. Come up through here, and just come up inside of there. And then as you get away from this stripe, you have like a darker area there. And then obviously you want to come back with your white, bright white pastel and just sort of, fix this. You want to get the really, really white pieces. You want to make them really, really white, obviously. And this area right here, for example, needs some of it. And then after you do that, you're going to come back with your black. And we can come back with our, where the heck did I put my pencils? All right, so we can come back with our black, our super sharp, razor sharp black pencil and get some hairs right there. Because you do have this little pattern right there. That. And then up through there. You make some areas dark, you leave some areas not so dark. The last thing you want to do, again, making stripe, don't make the whole thing dark. You will be sorry because it will look absolutely terrible. And then coming up through here, we have like we have a splotch right there. Like that. So this is a stripe. And again, we're not drawing a big circle. Just coming through and just making a bunch of hairs. Because that's all it is, right? Stripe is just a bunch of hairs. So the more that you resemble that inside of your painting, the better it's going to look. Again, the last thing you want to do is make a stripe look really just like a circle like you did when you were a little kid. You're painting a tiger or whatever. And then again here we want to have some eyelashes. Just come up with these. Not obnoxious, but you want some action through there. Like that. Get some eyelash. He's got a little area here. Put it like that. So that looks good. Now let's get some eyelashes across through there. Just get that. And we have a white area underneath here. And I think we sort of messed that up. So I want to get that back. Because you have this, what the heck? What the heck is that? Shavings. Alright, so you get this whiter area right through here. And I want to keep that. Because it has this reflection. You want to make sure to stay true to that thing, right? Like that. And underneath the reflection, you have this hard black line. Make sure you get that. Like that. That looks good. That. There you go. Now you got some really cool action. And then above that, you have a hard line. There we go. All right. And then up here, again, you're going to make her hairs. These are longish hairs, right? You're going to make them come in through here. Get that hair action going there. And then as you come down through here, you have this area here that's coming up like that. And it sort of touches this area here, which comes a little farther down. And again, we're just making hairs. We're not making this big blotch. And you got some pretty long hairs coming out of this one. Get that action. Then come back a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. And get some action through there. There we go. Looks good. And then right here is a little darker, so you press a little harder. Like that. So that looks all right. So now we come back with our whites. And we already have this white here. That looks all right. And then here we have this cool set of white hair just coming out. Just sort of sneaking out just out of nowhere. Just whee! Like it's not messing around. It's just sort of coming out there. This is fairly white. I'm pressing pretty hard. And again, if your hand's tired from doing computers all day, you just go at a 45-degree angle and push. You don't have to pull or press hard. 45-degree angle will force this crap deep into this paper, which is good and bad. It's bad if you messed up the alignment, but otherwise it's good. It also puts a wax layer on top of your pastel, so it sort of seals in your pastel, which is kind of nice. You don't need spray sealant or anything like that once you start doing that. So over here is sort of gray. It's not bright. So we're still going to use this pencil. We're not switching to gray. We're just using this pencil. We're pressing lighter. You see this? So we already had gray from the paper along through here. So instead of pressing really hard, we just press light and just make her some nice light hairs. And so now that has a grayish tone to it without having to go in with a bunch of different gray colored pencils. So we just press lighter with this one, right? So like right here, it's sort of a gray. And then you just press lighter. Go like that. So right here, that's really white right there. So let's get that. Let's get that. It's perfect. It's really white right here. And then it sort of fades off into the gray right here. So then we press a light. Come in through here. Just play. Time to play. I don't have a raid tonight. I'm not in a hurry to go nowhere. Come up through here. A little playtime up there. Normally this is where I watch TV. Again, just like, you just woke up. And that stripe is not near as big enough. That stripe, that's got a bunch of hairs coming out. Gotta get that going. That don't look good at all. Need some action through there. Got like this straight line, it looks terrible. There we go, get that action going. Don't come out too far, but we do need to widen the stripe a little. Like that. There we go, get that coming out through there. And then right here, we need to widen this a little bit. Like that, and have that coming through there. There we go. That looks good. I like that. Have a little couple of these hairs coming out. Not a lot, not obnoxiously, right? Just a little bit. And then we have this transition right here from this orange over into the white. So let's ease that up a little bit with this cream. And then have the cream come in through there. And then just helps that ease in a little better. And then you can come in with your orange, your bright orange. And you just kind of make, again, a little bit of a transition through there like that. Not pressing hard at all, just let it glide across. See that nice transition between those two sections there. And then you come in across like that. And then, of course, you're going to get your white pencil, and then you're going to make invasion hairs, right? Hairs that are sort of just coming through into there. Like that. You don't want that to just sit there by itself. That's what I call invasion hairs. Little hairs are just invading the stripe. Don't let that stripe just sit there by itself. It's got to have some company, right? There you go. So it looks nice. So now we're going to come back with our white and black, and then we'll wrap up the video. Yeah, I think we're 15 minutes. So again, after you put your white and your black on there, come back with your white and black pastel, a soft pastel. And the question is, what is bright, right? What is bright around here? Right here is obscenely bright in the picture. Remember, we discussed values. That's going to be important. Right here is brighter than that. Then up here is just stupid bright. We're going to put a lot of pastel up here. All right, and right here, we got a lot of pastel. That's really bright. Over here, it's really bright too. And that wax is going to make that pastel just be obscenely bright, which is what you want. Because right here is pretty damn bright. Like that. So that really pops. So now we go over here, and I notice this area here is really bright. So let's get that across through there. So that really makes it pop. And right here you got a couple of bright spots. Let's get those. There we go, like that. And then here's bright. And then you have whiskers. We're not going to do the whiskers just yet. So now we can grab our black pastel. Again, this is super, super dark. Let's just hit these stripes just a little bit. You can get really obnoxious really quick with this thing. So I just want a little bit more action on this stripe. And then this stripe above his eye, like right there. And then we have a couple of hairs like right through there. There we go. That's perfect. And then this one, a little bit darker, and this is a little darker as well. And over here, I noticed that is fairly dark. Couple of blotches there, a couple of blotches here. Like that. There we go. That looks great. A little bit more magic right there. All right. Come in through here. Like that. So I like that. A little bit of that there. And over here, you have this darker area. All right, cool. That looks really, really nice. Okay, so I'm going to call it a day. And for the most part, all we just have is this corner here, this area over here, and I'm done. I'm not really going to film that. I think we've covered enough stuff, enough technique to where you pretty much get the general idea. And I think that looking at the thumbnail, I think this looks fantastic. So I'm pretty happy with this overall. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a nice evening.